If you look past the puff pieces that have been written over the years, Enrique Rojas Montes's professional career is anything but straightforward. Attempting to establish a clear chain of events, particularly throughout the years preceding and during Rojas's various legal troubles, is difficult, bordering on impossible. But two things are certain. Scandals aside, Rojas has apparently managed to sail through the turbulence with his public persona and not insignificant wealth more or less intact. But he has also left a trail of individuals behind him who wish they had never met him. In 2018, Rojas was featured in a public piece about the 74 most influential faces of Opus Dei. The article identified Rojas as psychiatrist, specifically to the Spanish elite. He is also featured on the Club of Rome's members webpage. The Club of Rome identifies itself as, quote, a platform of diverse thought leaders who identify holistic solutions to complex global issues, drawing on the unique collective know-how of our 100 members, notable scientists, economists, business leaders, and former politicians. According to the Club of Rome, Rojas is a highly educated, well-respected authority in the field of psychiatry. It's how I found out about some of the other accolades and titles Rojas has acquired over the years, including the director of the Spanish Psychiatric Institute of Madrid, visiting professor at the University of New York, and professor associated with the Spanish Company Institute, or IESE. He is featured on the landing page for the Home Renaissance Foundation, a London-based think tank that claims to promote and develop greater recognition of the importance of the work required to create a thriving home, because a home does not build itself and needs to be well managed. HRF's purpose is to bring about change in our understanding of the professional dimension of the work of the home for a well-balanced society. I felt like that was a lot of awfully Opus Dei coded language, and as it turns out, there is a reason for that. Obviously, there's Rojas's presence on HRF's site, and he is a publicly recognized supernumerary of Opus Dei, but there's more. As an aside, I feel like I am getting really, really good at spotting Opus Dei PR and language from a mile away, which really just goes to show how long I have been steeping my brain in this shit. It's kind of sad. But anyway, this is how I found out what was going on. This might feel like a little bit of a sidebar tangent, but it actually blows the lid off of how people like Rojas end up indirectly participating in some pretty unsavory stuff. Plus, this is the perfect opportunity for me to show you how I found the info that I did. First, I googled Home Renaissance Foundation plus Opus Dei, in quotations like that, so that I would be shown only the results that correlated my two queries. I got some interesting results too. The first link came from opusdei.org and is titled The Central Place of Home and Family in Human Life. It's an article that was published in 2014, written for the 10th anniversary of the opening of the Cultural Center Harmika, an Opus Dei center in Zagreb, Croatia. The topic of the conference was the family in the teaching of St. Jose Maria. A little ways down in the article, it stated, a guest speaker from London, also an economist, spoke about the professionalization of housework in the light St. Jose Maria's teachings. She presented the work of the Home Renaissance Foundation, which aims to raise awareness of the importance of home issues for the benefit of individuals, families, and society. Yes, there is a massive typo in that quote, and I will not correct it. I find grammatical errors on Opus Dei's website on the regular, and I have to say, very sloppy work over there. But that wasn't the only connection I found between HRF and Opus Dei. The second result in my Google search was a page from HRF's own site. The link takes you to the landing page for HRF's experts, whatever that means. Juan Narbona is the featured professor of the Faculty of Social Communication at the Pontifical University of the Holy Cross. The Pontifical University of the Holy Cross, or the Pontificia Università della Santa Croce, is a private pontifical university in Rome that has been entrusted to Opus Dei. Fernando Ocaires, Opus Dei's current prelate, is the chancellor. It's about as Opus Dei of a university as it could possibly be. HRF's expert, Narbona, is a professor at that university. According to that website, Narbona is also the worldwide editor of opusdei.org. So all of those typos that I just mentioned are typos that Mr. Narbona or his underlings should have caught. But they didn't. Like I said, It's sloppy. He has also reportedly written 3 different books and contributed to several international publications. There were more results for HRF. I started seeing results for Opus Dei articles that seemed written to correlate caring for a home with domestic work. In Opus Dei, that phrase can really only correspond to one thing: the institution's servant class, the assistant numeraries, although they may sometimes throw the supernumerary wives and mothers a bone as well. For example, there's a 2017 article on opusdei.org titled "Domestic Work Holds Significance for Business Schools," in which Dora Del Hoyo, one of Opus Dei's earliest female members, was identified as the topic of an international study involving 94 countries. I'll give you one guess what I think that is really about. It's not about improving the home lives of ordinary people, although that's certainly the mask. A little further down, I saw a linked PDF with the title Home Renaissance Foundation Working Papers, published on March 2011, and outlines the competency curriculum for the bachelor's degree of Hospitality Management, ESDAI. ESDAI is connected to Opus Dei via umbilical cord because, according to HRF's own working papers, it emerged as part of the initiative of the founder of Opus Dei, Jose Maria Escrivá de Balaguer, to train women as managers of the services with the necessary skills for this task. And there's more. I kept pulling this thread. Further down, I found a linked PDF titled Annual Report 2020 from Limmat Stiftung. Limmat Stiftung is a Switzerland-based umbrella foundation, which is the type of large charitable foundation that allows individuals to establish smaller, dependent sub-foundations under its structure, which liberates donors from all of the usual administrative tasks that running a charity would normally entail. Founded in 1972 by people affiliated with Opus Dei, Limmat Stiftung claims to be the oldest umbrella foundation in Switzerland with a specific focus on the training of trainers as well as the promotion of women and children. According to an article from the Swiss-German news site Blick, Limmat finances educational and social projects. Everything on their site seems to be worded pretty vaguely, so it's hard to tell what the charity actually does. But its 2020 annual report outlined a variety of projects aimed at children, youth, and adults. Opus Dei is mentioned 3 times in that annual report. On page 19, under Other Projects for Youth, it states that the Limmat Foundation has supported female students of the Institut Supérieur des Sciences Infirmières, ISSI, annually since 2011. Some of the trainee nurses subsequently work at the Moncole Hospital, an initiative of members of the Catholic Prelature of Opus Dei. The graduates of ISSI are highly sought after also in other hospitals in the Dominican Republic. On page 23, in a blurb discussing microenterprise training in Peru, it states that the local partner, Cadespa Peru, founded by members of Opus Dei, has developed the idea of processing these plantains into flakes, flour, and fiber textiles. I never thought that I would encounter Opus Dei in food science, but here we are. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but lastly, on page 25, under Other Projects for Adults, I found Limmat Stiftung's tie to HRF. For London, England, the home as source of well-being, it states that HRF, founded by members of Opus Dei, researches and propagates the importance of the work that creates a home and the family a source of strength and a place of security, because the well-being of the individual and the family has a positive effect on the cohesion of society. That's a bunch of word salad, but here's what I think it all really boils down to. HRF, Limmat Stiftung, and Cadespa Peru are corporate works of Opus Dei, meaning they were founded by members of Opus Dei, but the organization insists that it has no vested interest or attachment to them. But for better or for worse, as outlined by countless testimonies and in the book Opus, it is a fact that the efforts members of Opus Dei make to support and run these various hospitality schools and training centers and hospitals, apparently, have resulted in numerous women from socioeconomically disadvantaged backgrounds being sort of shuffled into Opus Dei residences and centers to cook and clean and iron and wipe the asses of the higher class members who reside there as assistant numeraries. And these women have gone on to allege that they were coerced into committing their lives to Opus Dei, even though the promises of education and opportunities and pay that had convinced them to enroll initially had long since evaporated. This is a small slice of the Opus Dei web, and Enrique Rojas Montes is connected to it all.